Sole Free with Harlan Freeman, your home for sneakers and culture, starts in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Once again, welcome back to Sole Free, here part of the Drake Media Network and the Sole Free Radio Network. And we are so excited to be here today. We've got an amazing guest, which we're going to bring on in just a few moments. But as always, we're going to start with our sneaker pick of the week. And this week, we're going a little old school. And this is in honor of our guest. There's a few things our guest today loves, like beyond in the world. And that's the New York Knickerbockers and KITH. So we're going a little old school today. We're going, we're still honoring, even though it was last October, we're still honoring the 40th anniversary of the Air Force One here on Sole Free. And if you're going to have an Air Force One, why not have one made here in New York, honoring our very own New York Knickerbockers. So this is the KITH New York Knicks Air Force One. Of course, you can see all the Knicks colors here with the dual swoosh colors. The black toe box, the white outside. I mean, this is just a fire shoe. The KITH logo in the Knicks colors right there on the tongue. I absolutely love these shoes. And if you see the creases here, see that? Usually, we bring out things that are brand new. But these shoes were so hot, I had to rock them the day I got them right out of the box. So they're going to be creased, they're going to be worn, and sometimes that's just how you got to do it. You got to wear your shit. Right, Ant?
Yes. I mean,
right?
You got to be careful with things you buy, whether it's a hoodie, pair of sneakers, hat, but you don't get it to keep it in the closet.
No.
You get it to wear.
You got to rock it.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to rock it.
Exactly.
And speaking of rocking it right now, this is my guy. This is my guy, Anthony Donahue. You might know him from his Instagram handle, Anthony MSG. I believe.
What's up, my man?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Good. How you feeling, buddy?
All
All right.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Now, I got to call out my man over here, Spike Lee, right now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people look at Spike Lee as the biggest Knicks fan in the world.
Yeah.
And look, my man's had a lot of access.
Yeah.
My man's got a couple shekels in his pocket.
Yeah.
Maybe the access, a little bit easy.
Yeah, and at times it hasn't been always the easiest to be a Knicks fan in the last 20 years.
Right?
A lot of heartbreak, but I feel like I've been there through it all, and I love the Knicks sometimes more than life itself. I didn't come nicked out today. I came neutral dress-wise.
Right.
But sometimes you just can't wear orange and blue every day as much as I love it.
And I did it in honor of you today.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I have that hoodie.
I figured you did. I was going to call you this morning and be like, yo, don't
I should have wore the black. I have both. I have the orange and the black
Yeah, of course you do.
So I should have wore the black one. That might have been a little too much, though.
Yeah.
You wearing the orange, we wearing the black.
Right.
I mean, that'd be a little crazy.
Right.
But I wore a KITH hoodie, though.
Okay, we're representing.
From their fall collection.
Yeah.
And this hat's from their fall collection,
Yeah,
too.
it is.
Yeah, so I love the Knicks sometimes more than life itself, and they bring me so much joy. And right now, the Knicks are right in the middle of the Eastern Conference, hopefully going to make the playoffs, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah, and this, just in case you did not know, I was making the comparison to Spike because this is the biggest Knicks fan in the world. And, you've been recognized by the team. You're on camera when, whenever they need, a spokesperson, they need some words from somebody, you're the guy. I feel like you're getting more airtime than Clyde these days.
Yeah, it means a lot, man. Like I said, I love the Knicks more than life itself. I've been very cool and close with the organization since about 2005. When I started, I was interning with ESPN Radio. I was helping produce the Knicks pre- and post-game shows on ESPN Radio with Brandon Tierney when I was 21 years old. So at the time, I was at ESPN all the time, which was on the 17th floor at 2 Penn Plaza. And the Knicks were on 14, so I got cool with so many people, as well as being at all the games too. And the Knicks organization is family to me. Obviously I love the team. I've always loved the team, but it's a very special organization and special people that work there that always have been there for me through a lot. Like a lot of us who've been through a lot in life, but me myself been through so many trials and tribulations over the years, and the Knicks and the organization has always been there to support me all the time.
Yeah, no, they're a great group of guys. Even people make jokes, this and that. Even ownership is there for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ownership does the right thing. What was it? What was it when you saw that hardwood floor? You saw those orange and blue colors, which we won't talk about the Yankee thing.
Yeah,
you could have been a Mets fan.
I love my Yankees. shout out to my twin Nestor Cortez. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I got to meet Nestor a few weeks ago. It was really cool.
Oh my God!
Because one of my friend Jason, he actually set it up. He works for the Knicks, and Nestor was courtside. And he said to Nestor, like, yo, you got to meet my friend. So Nestor was like, of course.
Yeah.
But then Jay showed him a picture of me, and Nestor was like, oh, my God. So Jay's like, yo, come down. So I got about 20 feet from Nestor. Nestor, like, we saw each other.
Yeah.
Like, we, like, gave each other a big hug. Like, it's like we knew each other before we even met. And if you look at the picture, we both have, like, similar outfits. And,
Oh, my God.
And the jeans are, like, the same. So one of the comments, like, on my Facebook, someone wrote, you guys go jean shopping together, too?
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. So shout out to Nestor Cortez, and hopefully it's going to be a good year for our Yankees. Still a little bitter about getting swept by the Astros in the ALCS last year, but Aaron Judge is back, and hopefully it's a good year for the Yanks.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good. I think New York is going to have a great 23.
I hope so.
It's
been great so far.
Yeah, I mean, we don't talk about Jet. Like, can I tell you what happened with the Jets this year?
I know the Jets are not going to the playoffs again.
Right? Can I tell you what happened though?
Sure.
On one of our other shows.
Yeah.
Right. The Jets were 6-2, and there's 3 of us who do the show, and the other 2 guys are huge Jets fans.
Yeah.
And they are on cloud 9 at 6-2. They're like, we're gonna get to the playoffs. The rest of the league was amends at the time.
Booking the Super Bowl tickets.
Right? And I go, without missing a beat, 7-10.
And that's what I'm not Jeff.
Right.
That's what they ended up, 7-10.
7-10.
Yeah,
Nostradamus.
Tough.
Nostradamus.
Underrated Nas album is Nostradamus.
Yes.
Gets a lot of hate, so it's a pretty good album.
Yeah, everything Nas does is
That's a fact.
good. Yeah.
I'm going to see Nas at the Garden in end of February.
You going?
Yeah, I believe it's the first time he's ever headlined a show at the Garden.
That's going to be a sick night.
I believe.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fire.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna be fire.
So what was it? Okay, you're a kid.
Yeah.
You see that blue and orange, and it pops when it's on that wood floor. It pops like no other colors. What was it that drew you in?
So I always say, like, when I was a kid, my first loves were actually the Yankees, Donnie Baseball, the Giants with Phil Simms, the Rangers with Mark Messier, Mike Gartner, John Van Beesbrook.
The Beezer.
I knew I liked the Knicks, but they were like my 4th team.
Right.
Nobody in my family was really into basketball. My mom likes the Knicks. My uncle likes the Knicks. But they like those other teams more, Giants, Rangers, Yankees. I knew about Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Charles Oakley, Greg Anthony, all those guys. Started watching the Knicks when I moved upstate in 4th grade, 92-93 season. I was pretty into it. I remember we were I believe the number 1 seed in '93. Remember the All-Star game was in Utah, and then the playoffs started. We played the Pacers in the first round, and all the love I had for the Yankees, the Giants, the Rangers, something changed watching the Knicks play the Pacers in that first round series in 1993. John Starks headbutted Reggie Miller, and something took over my body, my soul, my spirit, and I went from like I like the Knicks to the Knicks are my life. And I was in 4th grade when Charles Smith got blocked 11 times in Game 5 versus the Bulls, and I remember thinking, all right, we'll be back. And then sure enough, the next year I went to my first Knicks game, April 2nd, 1994. It was, I believe, the Knicks' 16th or 15th straight victory.
Wow.
We beat the Heat. Sat in section 416, row F. And I'll never forget, like I said, I knew I loved the Knicks. I loved the Knicks that whole year. But going to the game was definitely life-changing as well.
Life-changing.
Because I had been to Rangers games at the Garden. I'd been to games at Yankee Stadium. I even had been to the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus before I went to a Knicks game. But when I went to that first Knicks game, the things that stood out the most, I got there. Game actually started at 8:30.
Yeah.
8:30 tip that night. Got there to the lobby at like 5:30. That was my doing. I convinced my uncle to bring me down early.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
Got to the Garden early. Got there, and then just walking up to our seats. I didn't even make my way to the court yet. I was only 10, so we were sitting high up, and I seeing them practice and seeing them take the court and seeing Patrick Ewing for the first time, seeing John Starks. Although John Starks didn't play that game, he was out with an injury. He was on the bench. I would say one of the things that stuck out the most to me about going to the Knicks game was, I would say, the voice of the legendary, now who's a friend of mine, Mike Lashevsky,
okay,
the legendary PA announcer. The way he said Derek Harper and Patrick Ewing, it was just different. And I just loved everything about that night. The Knicks won the game. Eric Anderson, I don't know if you remember Eric Anderson, came in at the end, hit a 3, was a big deal. And the Knicks ended up losing in the finals, of course, to the Rockets in 7 games, which I'm still not over yet.
No.
But the Knicks just took over my life, and I never dreamed, never imagined that, my adult life, all my idols would become friends of mine. I would be so close to the organization, known by Knicks fans around the world, but I never dreamed of that ever. And it all kind of happened organically, and I worked my ass off from the podcast to the events to the shows to doing a lot of community work. So it's definitely, other than like sometimes we haven't always had the best teams on the court. Other than that,
but it's still a vibe.
No, it is.
It's still a vibe.
It is, and I've definitely lived a dream life being a Knicks fan, and I'm so thankful for everyone in the organization, that especially the people that I deal with, especially over the last few years, going through so much in my personal life, the life that I get from people I do work with, people I do stuff with there, host events there, people on social media, fans, even some of the trolls on Twitter. Y'all are annoying, but y'all give me life too.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And you became a Knicks fan, right? I remember that. That was when I went to my first Knicks game too. My first Knicks game was Chicago Bulls Mother's Day playoff game. They were down by 14 going into the fourth.
What year?
94.
Oh, 94.
And they won by 8.
That was game one.
Game one.
I remember that. I went to dinner that night with my grandparents.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old.
It was Mother's Day,
Yeah,
and
I
I
remember.
had to tell my mother that I just got Knicks playoff tickets. Can we do Mother's Day later?
Yep.
That didn't hit well.
Yeah.
That didn't hit well. It hit, but it didn't hit well.
That was a crazy series, by the way.
It's a crazy
Thank
series.
God for Hugh Hollins.
Yeah. Wow. Yep.
Game 5.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen foul on Hubert Davis.
Yep. Wow. Wow. And that's right when the defense thing started,
Yep.
when they would run around with
Yep,
the D in the fence.
Yep.
Nothing was louder in
Yep.
the stadium than that. So this is better than the Rudy story. I mean, you went from section 404 to shoes on the court.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just nothing better. And I mean, now you actually do things with the organization. I know
Yeah.
you have an incredible event that happens, about 13, 14 times a season.
Yeah, I do events where I, bring fans to games. They obviously have to buy tickets, and we go to Pizza Suprema. We go into the game early before the fans are let in. You get a chance to watch the teams practice close to the court. The garden is empty. It's really cool.
Yeah.
After the game, everybody will shoot a free throw, or maybe take a picture on center court. Every event is a little different, but all I know is after every event, I get so many messages from fans thanking me and saying that, I get a lot of kids that come with their moms, their dads,
Sure.
or their families.
Sure.
And they tell me, I've had DMs, people tell me it was one of the best nights of their life, or their 9-year-old son said it was the best night of his life, and they appreciate how good of a host I am. And it really means a lot. It really means a lot. It gives me a lot of purpose in my life to be able to do these events and give people experiences that you can't just go buy on Ticketmaster.
No. And so you're a dude like me, we've been blessed in our lives to have access to different things, and to this day, nothing hits, like when your feet hit the floor at Madison Square Garden.
Yep. Yeah, there's nothing like that wood. I never forget the first time I touched the court at the Garden. Ironically, it was a Kentucky. It was an ECAC holiday festival, 1995. Kentucky was playing Ryder, and St. John's was playing Iona. We had me and my uncle. We had tickets 5 rows from the court.
Yeah.
And going to our seats, there was the wood.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, should I touch it? And I touched it.
Yeah.
And I remember I was bugged out.
Yeah. The first time I, through one of my things that I do, I was working a tennis event there with Roger Federer. And our group, we were kind of off the side of the court. And I remember when the national anthem kicked in. And I was sitting there, standing on the court, looking up. Even though it was a tennis court, it wasn't our basketball court. But looking up, at the screen, at the flag.
Yeah.
And just feeling, literally, I was standing there like I was Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Doing the sway,
you know. It's funny, so...
Started slapping my shoes.
It's funny you say that. So every Knicks game I've been to, probably since I was 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And that, actually, I never really said this on a show. It's not really a big secret. I just never really talked about it.
Yeah.
I do that during every anthem, like Patrick Ewing, rock, only for a few seconds. It's because I remember I would sneak down to the court sometimes when I got a little older, in my teens, and I would be there during the anthem before I get chased out by the ushers.
Yeah.
I was never forget this. During the anthem, it's Patrick Ewing just being in his zone.
Never forget it.
You know what I'm saying?
Never forget it.
Rocking back and forth.
Yeah. That's big. That's a vibe right there.
Yeah.
So speaking about vibes, when you get to the garden. Okay, you had a couple slices before you went.
Yeah.
All right. Big ups Pizza Supreme.
Yeah,
right?
Pizza Suprema.
Pizza
My
Supreme.
favorite pizza in the city.
Okay. If you're still a little hungry, what are you eating at the garden?
If I'm still a little hungry, what am I eating at the garden?
If you're like, you know what, I had 2 slices.
I would say my favorite thing in the concourse, and I've said this before in other interviews, is the Carnegie Deli pastrami.
What's up?
The pastrami sandwich with the knish.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah. And I believe it closed, right, for good in Times Square.
Yeah.
The Carnegie Deli pastrami sandwich and knish with some mustard. That's my go-to food on the concourse.
Now,
or the Daily Burger.
Nothing wrong with the Daily Burger.
Daily Burger's
quick.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Can I give you a little secret about the Carnegie?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to look into the camera because I really want to tell people this.
Okay.
What you do is, right, you take your knish, you cut it in half.
Cut the knish in half.
Right.
Okay?
The rye bread's good. You don't need the rye bread. You put the pastrami on that knish and you make yourself a knish pastrami sandwich.
See, I look at it as the knish as a side dish.
Right. You could do it all in one.
That's intense.
Yeah.
But I like to have.
You like a little nosh on the side.
Exactly.
I get it.
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
That does sound pretty good.
Now, speaking about knishes and pastrami sandwiches, you are also an athlete.
I mean, you say that very loosely.
You're an athlete.
I guess. If you've run a marathon in the last year or two, you can call yourself an athlete.
Yeah.
That's an Anthony rule, by the way.
Yeah. Anybody
I just made that up.
who runs voluntarily over a half a mile.
Half a mile?
A half a mile, because why are you running more than a half a mile for pleasure?
Yeah.
Like, if somebody's chasing you,
right.
you're either getting away in a half mile or you got.
Right.
Right. So anything over a half mile is like an athletic thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you, my friend, you got the golden biscuit. You finished the New York City Marathon.
I did. One of the best days of my life.
Man, talk to me on that. Talk to me on that process, that decision to run the most famous race in the world.
Yeah.
And do it successfully and finish it.
Thank you. So, for those that don't know, my little sister, who was 21 years old, passed away from brain cancer in August of 2020. She was my world. We lived together. I raised her. We did everything together. And she beat brain cancer for the first time when she was 12. And she was in remission for 7 years. It came back, and she passed in August of 2020. So over the next year and a half, I didn't find much joy in anything. Actually, the only thing I found joy in was eating. Yeah, you can laugh. It's okay. I don't do drugs. I don't drink much.
Yeah.
But eating made me happy for like short periods of time.
Yeah.
So, but when you eat a lot and you're not working out, you're going to put on a pound or 2 or 30 or 40.
It could happen.
It could happen.
Trust me, it could happen.
But I did always enjoy running. I ran in high school a little bit. I ran throughout the last 20 years. Nice 3-mile runs, 4-mile runs, nothing crazy. And this Children's Brain Cancer Foundation I'm very close with, called the Iron Math Foundation. One of the ladies that runs it, who's a great friend of mine, Kirsten Kincaid, texted me around late April 2022, not that long ago, and said, "What do you think about running the marathon?" I'm like, fuck, the marathon?
You're like, I'll watch it.
I was like, I don't know. Like, I said, I do want to get back in shape.
Yeah.
She's like, you can do it. And I'm like, Kirsten, you nuts? I'm like, dude, I'm like so out of shape, and it's in 6 months. She's like, I'm signing you up.
Oh Lord.
So she's like, she goes. Then we talked. She said, listen, how about this? Sign up.
Yeah.
Start running. See where we're at in a few months.
Yeah.
So, and also the fact that it's not that easy to get into the New York City Marathon.
No, you
cannot just sign up. So I did realize this could potentially be a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yep.
So I signed up around early May. Now you have to raise minimum, at least for me, I had to raise a minimum $3,500 that all went to the Iron Math Foundation. The thing is, I didn't announce it because I wanted to see where I'd get to by early August.
Right.
I only even told, some of my best friends didn't even know.
Right.
So I wasn't even sending the link out to say, hey, can I get a donation? Because I didn't want to get to, like, say, August 1st and be like, I don't think I could do this.
Right.
So I sat on it, but I ran and ran and ran and ran.
You were the Forrest Gump of the Bronx.
I was like, I was Forrest Gump with swag. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And the weight started to come off.
Wow.
And I felt amazing. And by about late July, early August, I made the official Instagram announcement that I was running the marathon. And I raised over $7,000.
Wow.
In a few months, that all the money goes to families that, if their children have brain cancer, this foundation helps those families out, pays their bills, makes sure there's as least stress as possible.
Yep.
And I ran, and I got up to 15 miles at a time, 16, 20.
Man.
I did my 20-mile run 3 weeks before the marathon. And then after you're 20, you kind of like scale back a little bit, but you're still running a lot, don't get me wrong. And then race day came, and I couldn't believe it. And the thing about race day was that it was, if you're familiar with New York weather, early November. So all summer, once I realized I was doing it, once I got to like mid-July, I knew I was going to be able to do it, even though I still had work to do. In my head, I thought either 50, 55 degrees, sunny with a breeze, or maybe some rain, cold, or maybe even a little snow. And now we get to race day. It's 75 degrees, hot and humid. It was the hottest New York City marathon ever. And my goal, I said I needed to have a goal. And I didn't have a goal of time.
Right.
Because it was my first one.
Right.
But my goal was to not stop unless I had to go to the bathroom. That was my only thing. And the race started. I never in my life felt energy like this. So the first 2-3 miles, there's no crowd. You're going over the Verrazano. You hit the highway in Brooklyn for a little bit, and then you come down, I think, on 4th Avenue in Brooklyn, I believe.
Bay Ridge.
I never experienced energy like this, and you could tell it was like local people that like really cared.
Yeah.
Like they were cheering, like they knew you.
It's one of the best days in New York.
You've been out there for it before?
Oh yeah.
It's incredible.
Yep.
And my first 14 miles, I was running at probably a little too fast. My pace was the fastest it had been all summer.
Yep.
And then summer and fall, and then like mile 12, you hit the Cazziaco Bridge, and I was still cool. And I go through Queens, I go through Long Island City, and people had told me about the 59th Street Bridge, how hard it was, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay attention.
Right, you're like, well, just the Verrazano and the Cazziaco.
Right. So now I hit the 59th Street Bridge, and from the start of the bridge to the end, I think it's about 2 miles total. And this, you don't think about it when you drive over the 59th Street Bridge, blasting Nas.
Yeah.
Dog, that's an incline the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yep.
And now on the bridge, so now you hit the bridge, there's no aid stations.
No.
There's no crowd. And you're on the lower level.
You're going all the way up.
People were like on the ground. People were there were some people on that one, that side road.
Yeah.
Some people were just there chilling. They just said, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And at that point, like, I wanted to stop. I wanted to quit. Like,
there was no
but
quitting.
I wasn't going to quit.
Yeah.
And my goal, and I thought to myself, well, I could stop for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But my goal was to not stop. And I watched my sister for 10 years, from 10 years old to 21, beat brain cancer once, do it again, go through a stroke, never complain once, and talk about how she was never going to quit and she was never going to stop. So I didn't stop once. And I got to 1st Avenue at mile 16. And I'm like, all right, hopefully I get my second wind. I never got it. I never got a second wind. And then for the next 10 miles, it was all mental.
Yeah.
Even though obviously I was prepared physically.
Yeah.
And then I finally got to the finish line. And, throughout the race, I saw friends that I know and love. And I got to the finish line. And obviously nothing could take away the pain of losing my sister, my whole world. But crossing that finish line felt like it was a new start on life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was one of the best moments of my life. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again next year.
Man.
And hopefully I can do it again and do better. But it's been just a little bit over 2 months, and I'm still feeling the effects of the marathon. I'm still a little sore here and there, but I can't believe I did it. To go from where I was 6-7 months ago. I mean, I'm still completely heartbroken, but like being so out of shape to completing the New York City Marathon in less than 6 months, man. Like, I'm super proud of myself.
No, you did it, man. You did it. And you know what? You're an inspiration for so many. But, we got to do something for you personally, too. We know you're a Yankee fan. So, we had to reach out to 2 of the GOATs. So we got you a couple balls signed by Joe Torre.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And, of course, Bernie Williams.
Oh, Bernie, my man.
You got to be awesome. Bernie love.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
And, since you are a Knicks fan, and, I mean, you probably eat pizza with this dude anyway, got you a ball signed by number 5, Emmanuel Quigley.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
Because, you definitely deserve the good things in life. And,
Thank you so
You know,
much.
I hope you feel the love
I
that
do.
you give to others.
I do.
You know?
Thank
So we
you.
wanted you to have a special time here on Sole Free.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
I'm not giving you the Mel Brooks mug.
That's okay.
You can't have the Mel Brooks mug.
It's all good.
You know, so we take care of you in different ways.
It's all good. I appreciate that.
No, absolutely, brother. Well, once again, you know, follow Anthony on Instagram, Anthony MSG. You are the man.
Thank you.
You are the GOAT.
Thank you so
You
much.
are the GOAT of fans. When we do our next GOAT show, you're going to be on it.
Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you. I appreciate that.
No doubt. And speaking of GOATs, you know, we do have our music pick of the week this week. You know, we do you see, I should have done, you know, a Fat Joe record in your honor today.
For the Bronx?
Yeah, for the Boogie Down. But you know what? We're going to SI.
Can't go wrong with that.
We're going to SI.
Can't go wrong with
You
that.
know, we're going with a classic record right here.
Can't go wrong with that.
Enter
at
the
all.
Wu, 36 chambers, protect your neck.
Yes, absolutely.
Cream.
Classic.
Cream. You know, so many great records on this album. So, you know, once again, you know, I've been on this 90s vibe lately.
I'm on it every day, bro.
You know?
I'm on it every day.
You know, so next time you go to a Knicks game, check out Anthony MSG.
Hit me up.
You know, it's a great time with him. You get, you know, do the experience,
Yeah,
man.
do the experience.
Yeah, be a Knick for a day.
Yeah.
And eat New York pizza.
That's a fact.
Right?
I had something
Facts.
last night. It was very good.
Right? So once
best.
again, thank you to Drake Media Network. I'm Harlan. It's Sole Free. If you want to check out the podcast on all the major podcast sites, including our home, iHeartRadio. And thank you for, you know, to Binge TV for powering up our show today. And you can check us out on Apple and Roku and 1,000 other OTT services. And thank you to Coney Eyewear and Optics. And we'll see you soon. Peace.